Hi everyone, George Stavrou here from the Stavrou Method, doing this brief video inspired by a gentleman I've been following for some time and written about extensively in my newsletters on a regular basis, former Navy SEAL David Goggins. In David's own words, he described himself as very weak, both physically and mentally, while he was growing up. He endured an abusive childhood that would have absolutely traumatized most people. David chose not to let it define him. Instead, he got strength from it. He's a big believer in doing things that are very uncomfortable to help build one's mental and physical strength. It's something he learned when he was a Navy SEAL, and the term is embracing the suck. Instead of focusing on things we're good at, which is the path of least resistance, pick something you know you're not good at and work at it until you get better. He also keeps tracks of things he's overcome and calls it cookies in a cookie jar. Whenever you're facing something challenging in your life, pull a cookie from the cookie jar. Something tough you've dealt with in the past that was shitty at the time, but you felt better for when it was said and done. When you do this enough times, you can get incredibly strong, mentally and physically, rather quickly. Here are a few examples from my life so far this year. January 1st, New Year's Day. I decided to do something I haven't done in the longest time, a 2.5 mile run to a local park near my home called the Scarborough Bluffs. The round trip is pretty well 5 miles. The name of the park pretty well sums up what it is. Basically, it's a rather large cliff based in my hometown of Scarborough. The last time I did this, I was 20 years younger and 30 pounds lighter. I was also in killer cardio shape back then, as I would run 5 times a week. Did I enjoy getting up at 6 a.m. on New Year's Day and going for a 5 mile run when the temperature was below freezing? Definitely not. Would I feel better after I did it? Most definitely. Took me about 75 minutes to finish my run, averaging about a 15-minute per mile pace. I wouldn't be breaking any speed records, but that was not my goal. I just wanted the sense of accomplishment from actually getting it done. January 2nd, I woke up and my legs were still in rough shape from yesterday's run. I could have taken the easier approach and trained upper body that day, but I decided to push myself a little bit and see if I could handle another long run that I used to do back in high school, a 3.5 mile course that had a nice sized hill at the very end. Once again, the temperature was below freezing. I finished the course in a little less than an hour. I'm surprised I even finished it at all, considering I could barely walk from the 5 miler from the previous day. Instead of following through on my commitment to myself on January 3rd, 4th, and 5th, I simply chose not to train that day. Nothing particular, just plain lazy and unmotivated. I felt like crap for 3 days in a row because I let myself down, so I decided to do something out of the ordinary. January 6th rolls around. Got up bright and early at 7 a.m. The weather was cold again. Definitely not a good start to the day, but I had to make it up to myself for just being lazy for 3 days in a row. I figured that since I missed 3 days worth of embracing the suck, I would do 3 days worth in one day. I asked myself, what can I do today to make me feel better and help me get back on track with things? Why not combine the courses from January 1st and 2nd and add a little more distance to it just to make it that much more challenging? Long story short, I ran a total of 9.3 miles that day. It took me about 2 hours and 40 minutes to do it, averaging about 17 minutes and 30 seconds per mile. I hated every second of it, but knew that I'd feel much better when I was done. I was ecstatic when I was over and treated myself to a nice Epsom salt bath. The mistake that I made later that day was going to the local Harvey's, a fast food restaurant near my home. It's certainly much healthier than some of the other competition that's out there, but a combination of a very long run and fast food definitely contributed to a very bad cold that hit me on January 7th. I rarely get sick, but when I do, it knocks me on my ass for the better part of a week. The bad thing is I wasn't well enough to do my daily embrace the suck challenges, but the good things are, if history repeats itself, I probably won't get sick again for at least another 3 to 4 months. That's just how my body is wired. My goal is to do what I can to ensure I don't get something major the rest of this year. I've got a few social events coming up next week and will certainly be enjoying myself, but I won't be a slob about things. The other thing I learned is I know I can handle the more challenging stuff and can bounce back from it. Since I'm behind on things from a rough cold this past week, I've got to catch up on things. I'll be doubling up on my daily embrace the suck until I'm up to date on things later on this week. Will I enjoy it while I'm going through it? Probably not. Will I enjoy the feeling after I'm done? No doubt about it. Keep an eye out for my next Embrace the Suck video coming tomorrow. Yours in health and wellness, George Stavrou, President of the Stavrou Method.